The Bugatti EB110 was one of the three great supercars of the 1990s. Romano Artoli's dream took 4 years to create, but the result was a compact, all-wheel drive machine with huge performance. But 6 months later, Bugatti announced a faster 110, the Supersports. A new ECU, bigger injectors and freer flowing exhaust gave over 600 horsepower, and some carbon bits dropped the weight to just over 1,400 kilograms. This was the most advanced supercar of its time. It was tightly packaged, used 4 turbochargers to force feed a 3.5 litre V12. It was 4-wheel drive, had 6 gears, ABS, power steering and climate control. It was the opposite of an F40. It was comfortable. It was usable. Bugatti made 33 of these Supersports before the company collapsed. This is one of the last, and it's very yellow.
This is where dreams come true. I'm sitting in the very red leather carbon bucket seat of a Bugatti EB110 Supersport from 1995, being sold by RM Auctions at their London sale. I'm pretty excited, in fact I'm more than excited, because when I was 21 years old, this was the car. This was the car that Michael Schumacher bought and was photographed outside the factory. I've never driven one. So I'm going to shut the door and start the engine. This quad cam V12. Obviously, going to auction, we can't be too silly with it, but I need to share my sense of joy at this car. And I want to answer the question that I asked myself, which is, how does it compare to the modern stuff? Because this is still a very light car with lots of carbon fibre, and it has 610 horsepower. That's a power output that 20 years later still seem fast. Okay, first impressions. Steering's lovely. It's assisted, but it's got a sort of Lotus-like lightness, and yeah, it's deft. It's really pleasant, and you immediately have that connection. You think to yourself, I know where I can place this on the road. Throttle pedal has a really long throw and a bit of a deadness at the top, but you get through that. It's all turbo noise. You getting it? Ready? It's all whooshes and hisses, barely aware that there are 12 cylinders there. And then when you get it to about 5, then, yeah, it goes. It really does go. I believe it has 610 horsepower, but I think it has them for about 1,200 RPM at the most. Gear lever's lovely and close to the steering wheel. The driving position's good. The view out is great. Do you know what? I think this car was the cruel victim of a fad that we call the McLaren F1, because of course until the F1 came along, this was the daddy. It picks up beautifully as well. The gear shift is lovely, precise and crisp. No, it's just a fantastic thing, and it's special. And when you get it on the tighter stuff, if you have a look at the shots now, it's very adjustable. If you just back away from the throttle, it may have wide over 300 section rears, but if you just peel off the throttle, it rotates, very controllable. It's not intimidating. So often I get in cars that I dreamed about driving in my youth, and they just disappoint because they intimidate me and they're scary and spiteful. But this isn't at all, it's playful. And it goes. Oh yeah. Right, I'm gonna get around the corner. I'm gonna allow myself one burst in 4th gear. Is that all right? One burst, here we go. Throttle down, there goes the push. And here comes the turbos. Yeah. This would give modern supercars a properly hard time. A properly hard time. What are the downsides? Well, the boost. I mean, if you want to appreciate a modern turbocharged engine, come and drive this. Below 4, it just doesn't do anything really at all. You'd swear it was about a 3-cylinder, 150 horsepower motor, and then when it comes in, whoosh! Now, I love the thrill of that whoosh, but it does mean that if you're on more technical sections and you're trying to judge holding a throttle, constant throttle through a corner, it's bloody difficult. You've kind of got to be in the throttle in a lower gear and just hope that you can hold it there. 4-wheel drive system's fantastic. What you can do is let the car rotate a bit, gas it, and it just drags itself out. It's just a very clever car. I think it was ahead of its time. I really do. People make comparisons with an F40, but this is a state-of-the-art laser-guided sniper's rifle, and the F40's a bloody... it's a sling with a stone. Yes, please. Yes, please. The cabin's beautiful and simple. I love the great big 10,000 RPM marked rev counter in front of me. It's clear, it's simple. It's from a time when there aren't buttons for dampers and all that other nonsense. It's blowing cold air at me. It's even got a Nakamichi head unit with a tape deck in it. As you can tell, if someone had written the script for my automotive wet dream, it's this car. I've not driven one before, and it absolutely meets all expectations. What about the red interior? It's just cool. This rhubarb and custard, guys. It's done 10,000 kilometers. How special do you want your car? Shuey bought one of these. Oh. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, God. If I had 600, 700 grand, I would be wasting it on this.